They found bones that were too big to be human, carvings that looked like helicopters thousands of years before one was ever built, a glowing bulb that shouldn't have existed in ancient Egypt, and a stone with symbols no one can read, found where no ancient civilization ever lived. These aren't myths. These are real discoveries that scientists still can't fully explain. Some discoveries rewrite history. Others don't fit anywhere at all. They make us question everything we think we know about our past, about how humans lived, what they built, and maybe even who they were. Today, we're diving into 5 mysterious discoveries that continue to baffle archaeologists, historians, and conspiracy theorists alike. From giant skeletons hidden in Nevada caves to a mysterious glowing bulb in ancient Egypt, these are stories that challenge our sense of what's possible. So let's start with the one that might prove giants once walked the earth. 1. The Giants of Lovelock Cave. It all began in 1911 in the Nevada desert. 2 miners, David Hart and James Pugh, were searching for bat guano. Yes, the stuff used as fertilizer. But what they found instead was something straight out of a legend. Inside Lovelock Cave, they stumbled upon hundreds of ancient artifacts, tools, baskets, and, most shockingly, human bones that were massive. Some of the skulls measured almost twice the size of a normal human's. The local Paiute tribe had warned about this place for generations. They told stories of red-haired giants, the Siteka, who once lived in the area, hunted their ancestors, and were eventually wiped out after a long war. For years, these stories were dismissed as myths. But when the bones were found, the legend suddenly seemed less like a story. Archaeologists from the University of California came to investigate. They confirmed that the cave was indeed ancient, filled with artifacts from around 2,000 years ago. But when the giant bones disappeared into museum storage, things got strange. Some reports claim the bones were sent to the Smithsonian, but no one has ever been able to find them again. Not a single skeleton has resurfaced. It's as if they were erased from history. So what happened? Did someone destroy them? Were they misidentified? Or were they something humans weren't supposed to find? Even today, explorers still visit Lovelock Cave, hoping to find proof that the Siteke once walked the desert. All that remains now are the old Paiute stories, and a mystery buried deep in the sand. 2. The Dendera Light. Next, we travel to Egypt, to the Temple of Hathor in Dendera. Carved into the stone walls of an underground crypt is an image that's puzzled researchers for decades. At first glance, it looks like a simple hieroglyphic carving, but look closely. And it seems to show a bulb-shaped object with a filament inside connected to a wire. It looks exactly like a modern light bulb, thousands of years before electricity was even discovered. This carving became famous as the Dendera Light. Some researchers say it's proof that the ancient Egyptians had some kind of lost technology, maybe even electrical power. According to this theory, the bulb was powered by something like a primitive Leyden jar, an ancient battery, and when combined, these could have produced actual light, allowing workers to paint and carve deep inside tombs without using fire, which would have filled the air with smoke. But mainstream archaeologists don't buy it. They argue that the carving doesn't show a bulb at all. It's actually a lotus flower releasing a snake, symbolizing creation and energy in Egyptian mythology. Still, when you see the image, it's hard not to wonder, because the resemblance is uncanny. And what makes it even stranger? There's no soot in those ancient chambers, no sign of burning torches. So if they didn't use fire, and they didn't have electricity, what did they use? 3. The Abydos ancient flying machine carvings. In the Egyptian city of Abydos, deep inside the temple of Seti I, there are carvings that seem completely out of time. On one wall, you can clearly see shapes that look like a helicopter, a submarine, even what looks like a jet plane. These images were carved around 3,000 years ago, long before such machines ever existed. When these photos first appeared online, they caused an explosion of theories. Some claimed it was proof of ancient aliens. Others said it meant ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we think. So what's the truth? Archaeologists have an explanation. They call it the palimpsest effect. Basically, it means that over thousands of years, older carvings were erased and new hieroglyphs were carved on top. As the plaster wore away, both sets of carvings mixed, creating strange shapes that look like modern machines. Sounds reasonable, but not everyone is convinced, because even if it was an accident, the odds of those random carvings forming shapes that look exactly like modern technology are pretty wild. Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's a message. Either way, those carvings still stand in stone, mocking our sense of time and history. 4. London's underground structure. Now let's move from Egypt to England, underneath one of the world's busiest cities. In 2003, while construction workers were expanding the London Underground, they stumbled on something that shouldn't have been there. Deep below the city, they found a massive stone structure, perfectly carved, with a design that didn't match any known architecture from Britain's history. Some stones weighed several tons, stacked with such precision that no modern equipment seemed to explain how it was built underground, without any record of it ever existing. At first, it was dismissed as a natural formation, but further scans suggested otherwise. There were doorways, corridors, and even what looked like a chamber, sealed tight. Government officials quickly restricted access. The area was declared off-limits due to safety concerns, and just like that, the discovery vanished from the news. Conspiracy theorists believe this was part of an ancient pre-Roman civilization, or possibly a lost city beneath London itself. Some even link it to the myth of Albion, the legendary first king of Britain. No one knows for sure. But every once in a while, a new story surfaces. Someone who swears they saw the sealed chamber before it was covered again. Maybe someday, someone will dig deeper. But for now, London's greatest mystery remains locked beneath the streets. 5. The Lake Winnipesaukee Mystery Stone. Our final mystery takes us to New Hampshire, USA. In 1872, workers digging a hole near Lake Winnipesaukee found something completely out of place. A smooth, egg-shaped stone, about 4 inches tall, with carvings all over it. There were faces, arrows, moons, and strange geometric patterns. No one knew who made it, or why. Even more bizarre, metal rods had been drilled into both ends of the stone with machine-like precision, far beyond what Native American tribes were known to use at the time. The artifact was examined by scientists from the New Hampshire Historical Society, but no one could identify its origin. Some thought it was a ceremonial gift, others a memorial, and a few even suggested it could be evidence of contact with an unknown ancient culture. But the real mystery: no one has ever found another object like it, anywhere in the world. It sits in a museum today, locked behind glass, with a label that simply reads, "The Mystery Stone." And after more than a century, that's exactly what it still is, a mystery. Every one of these discoveries forces us to ask the same question. How much do we really know about our past? Maybe ancient people were smarter, more creative, and more advanced than we ever imagined. Or maybe there's something deeper we haven't uncovered yet, something lost to time, waiting to be found again. Until then, the giants of Lovelock Cave, the Dendera Light, the Abydos carvings, the London chambers, and the Lake Winnipesaukee Stone will remain unsolved pieces of a puzzle that stretches far beyond what we understand.